Hey guys, welcome in for Truth Talks today. What's today? What's today? Wednesday? Today's Wednesday. Happy hump. Is it Wednesday? No, today's Tuesday. I don't know. Today's Wednesday. Happy hump day. Why am I so confused? I don't have my October calendar on my wall yet. It's still in September, and I'm absolutely realizing that I'm absolutely completely lost without the aid of my calendar. So forgive me. Happy hump day, guys. Welcome in for today's Truth Talks, real conversations about real stuff that real people are going through. That's what we talk about in Truth Talks. Today I have something that I want to share with you about. It's actually a conversation about mindset and how we think and how our thoughts convert into actions, which then become our results and affect our results. And so I actually want to talk to you. I was listening. I have an audio of a book by Napoleon Hill. It's narrated by Sharon Lecter, who I absolutely adore. And she was just as gracious in person once I got to meet her and get to know her a little bit as I had imagined she would be. So I want to talk to you and share some experience that I've had from and why that particular book is so impactful to me, because there's so many principles that are just jammed in this book. And that's why I don't really usually do audio books, but this is one that I have on audio. I've probably listened to it at least 15 times. Like, that's how addicted to and it's called Outwitting the Devil. It's by Napoleon Hill, and it's narrated by Sharon Lecter. And so I want to share some thoughts and some experiences from that in hopes that it will help some of us as we're walking through this fourth quarter, and we're looking at how we do business and how we think about things and how we're functioning and how we're operating in the world, how we're showing up. So as you guys come in, feel free to share the video out. I would definitely appreciate that. Invite some other people into the conversation if you think it'll be of benefit to them, particularly people that struggle with negative mindset, toxic thinking. You know, one of the things I tell you guys all the time, I'm here to disrupt your toxic thoughts and your self-sabotaging behaviors. So welcome. My name is Marci Batiste. For those of you who are joining just for the very first time, I am your ultimate power coach. I am America's #1 reality-based success and recovery trainer. And ultimately, I want you to completely take 100% responsibility. Like, if you want to regain control and happiness and experience, joyful things in your life, it's all possible. It's within you, but only when you're willing to take 100% responsibility. So that's what I'm all about. Truth Talks is just a way for me to kind of share various thoughts. It's also a Q&A form, so as you guys have questions, feel free to send the questions in. So today in particular, I titled this video, I'm afraid no one will be able to carry my casket. And so I want to share with you guys kind of where that comes from. Where did that stem from? Why is that a thing? And so for those of you who follow me a lot, you know that I struggle my whole life with weight management issues. I struggled for over 30 years with massive self-esteem issues. And so there was a journey and a process to clear all of that out. And that's what I'm so passionate about, the fact that we have to disrupt those toxic thoughts. We have to disrupt those self-sabotaging behaviors, because if they're allowed to continue, that's how the devil does his work. And that's the conversation that I want to share with you in the lesson, and one of the principles that I take from Napoleon Hill and the book Outwitting the Devil, and show you how it really truly changed my life. So the being afraid that no one would be able to carry my casket, that was my mindset. So 15 years ago, I was about 400 pounds, and I was married, I was miserable, I was successful in everyone else's mind as far as what it should look like on the outside. I made the good money, I had the house on the hill, the 2 cars, the motorcycle, the Labrador retrievers, the 2 kids, the whole 9 yards. Like, everything you know, a career, a fantastic career in financial services, a community leader. And I was, you guys, so freaking miserable. I was miserable. I was detached. I was lost. I was just really struggling to figure out, where do I fit? And so through that process of low self-esteem and just kind of being misdirected and not really having a whole lot of guidance outside of my career, I ballooned up to 386 pounds. I think I probably was closer to 400, quiet as it's kept, but the first time I weighed in, it was 386, and I'd already been dieting for 3 weeks. So I'm pretty sure it was 400, but I still don't know. We're not going to claim that. But my point is that so many times we say that we want to make changes in our lives, right? And we'll say, oh, I want to do this because of this, or I want to do that because of that, or, you know, this person suggested I do this, or this person suggested I do that. And here's the thing that I'm going to tell you. I didn't lose weight because I had health issues. Fortunately, I didn't have any other health issues, as a matter of fact, that tend to go along with such extreme morbid obesity. Blood pressure was fine, heart was fine, everything. I was just fat. I was fluffy. I was puffy. I was swole, whatever you want to call it. And that was a manifestation of a whole lot of stuff that the fat was covering up, right? And so I had to be prepared to start unpacking stuff, but I didn't understand that part back then. What I understood back then was that I don't look good in my clothes. I don't feel good, you know, out in the world. There's things that I want to be able to do with my children that I can't do. Amusement parks, for instance. I remember there was this time where we were at this amusement park in Iowa, and the kids wanted to ride on the roller coaster, and my youngest daughter was too young to ride by herself, and she needed me to go on the ride with her. And so I got on the roller coaster, and my oldest daughter was in the front, and I was in the back of the car with my youngest daughter. And you know how they bring the lap bar down, right? It wouldn't close. Like, it wouldn't, like, not even close. I was already like stuffed kind of in the seats and barely able to even get in the car. But when the lap bar came down, I couldn't close it. I couldn't secure it. You know how it's supposed to click and latch, and that's how you know that you're not going to go flying off of and flying out of the car when you get to the top or the bottom or whatever of the hill, right? That's the safety feature, is to hold you in the car. Well, I'm sitting there, and I can't remember how old my daughter was at the time. She might have been maybe about 8, I want to say. My youngest one, maybe about, she probably was younger than that, maybe about 7 or 8. And I was stuck, not literally stuck, but I was stuck mentally and emotionally paralyzed, because I'm sitting here in this car waiting for this roller coaster to take off, and my choice was tell the roller coaster operator that this isn't latched and deal with the humiliation of having to get off the ride, and everyone's going to know that I'm getting off because I'm the fat lady, or staying on the ride and risk myself and my daughter's life because it wouldn't latch. And I sat there. It seemed like I sat there for a really long time. In reality, it probably was a few seconds. But I'm quickly trying to process this information. Which is going to be worse? Which is going to be worse? Which is going to... Now, mind you, at 400 pounds, nearly 400 pounds, I lived a life of humiliation. And so there's, you know, just hundreds of people lined up waiting to get on this ride. I'm in this car. I have to... Not only do I have to tell this person, this young teenager that I don't know, that the lap bar won't fit, I've got to explain to my daughter why we have to get off the ride. Why mommy can't ride on the ride. And so ultimately I did tell the ride operator that I couldn't get the bar down and that I didn't feel safe on the ride and we had to get off. And then my daughter was like, Mommy, why do we have to get off? Why do we have to get off? And I'm just like mortified. I'm mortified. Hundreds of people, so they let some other people get in the car. Ride takes off. I never forgot that. And so I was going through my mind was all these things of what these people in this line were thinking, and what this ride operator was thinking, and what the story was I had to tell my daughter. And I'm just mortified. I'm humiliated. I'm devastated. I'm sad. Just like this whole range of emotions, right? And that was a game changer for me, because it prompted a series of thoughts in my mind. And one of the thoughts in my mind was, you can't ride on a roller coaster ride. If you die, who's going to carry your casket? No one's going to be able to carry my casket. Like, I'm 386 pounds. And I don't know how much a casket weighs, but I'm sure it's a lot. And you add that onto my 386 pounds, who the hell's going to sign up for that? You're not going to be able to find pallbearers to carry no 400-pound woman in a casket. And this was the thing, you guys. I said to myself, no one's going to be able to carry my casket. And what the turning point for me was when I realized that I can't imagine an eternity of humiliation. I experienced humiliation a lot because of my size, discrimination because of my size. The thought of living in eternity and the final memory is that they have to cremate me or do something else with my body because no one can carry my casket was the thing that prompted me to change my life. It was the thing that said, you have to lose this weight. And I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I made that my business. That became my priority. And so when people are like, well, why did you lose the weight? How did you start losing it? Excuse me. That really was what it was. If I die today, no one's going to be able to carry my casket. I didn't want to spend eternity in humiliation. I didn't want people talking about me after I'm dead and gone. Like, hey, you remember when Marci died and man, nobody could carry her cat? Like, it was horrifying to me. And that was my why for losing weight. Now, society would have you to believe that it's because of all these health benefits and it's, all of these things. And granted, I had some of the, I want to be able to see my kids grow up and stuff like that. But the driving force, the real motivating factor for me was that if I died, no one was going to be able to carry my casket. I was so clear about that, you guys. I was so crystal clear about that. That was the thing that kept running through my head. That was the thing. Every morning when I had to get up and go to that gym at 5 o'clock in the morning before anybody else got there, and every morning when I left, as soon as somebody else came, because I didn't want to have them see the fat lady working out. Nobody's gonna be able to carry your casket. Like, you have to keep going. You have to keep doing this. That was my why. Now, if you ask somebody else, does that make sense or does that sound hella crazy? They're gonna tell you it sounds crazy. Like, who cares what people think after you die? But that's where I was emotionally connected to what other people think and how I allowed other people's thoughts and what I thought that they were thinking, because nobody said it, but I'm thinking what you would think based on what I think about myself, right? It was too much. It was too much. Here's the thing, and this is the point of this whole message, and I'm going to share some stuff with you from Outwitting the Devil that supports this. Your why only has to make sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. It doesn't have to move anybody else. It doesn't have to motivate anybody else. It doesn't have to inspire anybody else. It has to make sense to you. It has to move you. It has to inspire you. And it has to keep you going towards whatever it is you say your goal is. For me, it was to lose 200 pounds, which I ultimately ended up successfully doing without surgery. But when I would tell people that was my reason, they were like, that's crazy. Like, nobody's going to say that. Well, in my mind, it doesn't even matter if it's realistic or it makes sense. In my mind, that was my why. And that's what I clung to. That's what I held on to. And that's what moved me through to do the things that I needed to do to get the weight off. Bringing this full circle. What is the point of all of this? The point is that one of the principles from Outwitting the Devil, they talk about the mind and the power of mindset and the power of independent thought, independent thinking. And so not necessarily assuming what other people think and assuming their thoughts and their beliefs to be true. And so that's how I got into reality-based coaching. That's how I got into reality-based lifestyle, reality-based living, is all to challenge the thoughts, challenge those toxic thoughts, challenge the toxic thoughts that convert into self-sabotaging behaviors. So one of the things that, so Napoleon Hill, when he set out to write this book, he was approached and he said he was looking for funding and he wanted to study success. And he wanted to see what is behind success. What's the power of success? What do successful people all have in common? And so he approached an influencer and he said, this is what I want to do. They said, well, you would be remiss if you can't study success and how success happens without also studying failure. And so this is what he told him. He said, okay, here's what I'll do. This is the work that I want you to do. And he said, I want you to study 100 people. I want you to study successful people, and I want you to study failures. And I want you to figure out what is the common denominator between the two. What's the differentiating factor, I should say. What separates successful people from people who fail? And so he said about this, and they told him at the time, they said, here's the thing. It could take you 20 years to do this work. I'm not going to pay you for it. And quite honestly, you probably won't even be recognized for your greatness until after you're gone. And of course, now everyone sees how amazing his work is, and he's dead, right? This was what he came to the conclusion. And so it starts talking about the power of the devil. Hey, Gillette, what's up? And the power of mindset. And remember when I shared with you my thinking on the roller coaster, my thinking about people carrying the casket. It wasn't about me. It was always about thoughts. It was about mindset. It was about what other people thought, what I thought other people thought. And so he talks about, so he says, okay, you know what? I'm going to take the assignment. I'm going to do this. And so he sets about, and I won't go into all the details, but he goes about researching this. And so one of the things that ends up happening, he has to figure out how to fund and finance this. And so he ends up, long story short, having these conversations with the devil. And so the devil's kind of giving him some hindsight. The devil's giving Napoleon this behind the scenes look at, how stuff really works. Like what's really going on, what's really good. And because a lot of times we put so much in faith, and you hear people say, oh, the devil's busy, the devil's busy. Well, here's the thing. And this was so profound to me when I studied this and I learned and I understand how to manifest this principle. The devil doesn't want your soul. So we're brought up to believe that we're out here to save our souls from the devil, but the devil doesn't want your soul. The devil wants your mind. He wants to control your mind. He don't want your soul. He wants control. And the easiest way to control you is if he can get into your mindset. And so that's where things like temptation and all that stuff comes from, is because I need to get to your mindset and change your mindset so that I can take control over how you think. And if I can take control over how you think, I can take control over how you behave. And based on how you behave, then I can do my manipulation in the world. Makes sense, right? So if the devil is after your mind and not your soul, you're out here maybe protecting the wrong thing. You need to be protecting and thinking about your mindset. And so when I talk about you guys being that, my job is to be that disruption to those toxic thoughts. That's why. Because that's where the devil gets the power. That's where evil gets its power. It's the power of the mind. So if the devil can control you by controlling your mind, that means you can control you. You can control your results by controlling your mindset. Does that make sense? Like, the biggest ally of the devil, he calls it being a drifter. So we all have a tendency to be drifters, right? What a drifter is someone who just naturally has a tendency to let other people think for them. So they don't challenge what they're told. They don't challenge what they believe. They don't challenge what other people tell them about themselves, about life, about anything. They're just inclined to go along with the program. I used to be a drifter. I get it. I get it. Messed my whole life up. Until I learned that my mind was my most powerful asset. It's my most powerful tool. The power of mindset's not gonna, we're out here focusing on faith, trying to protect our souls, but we're ignoring our mindset. And understanding that if the devil can control your mind, he can control your actions, which then controls what goes on in the world. And that's how you can get people to wreak havoc and wreak chaos, simply by saying, oh, I heard so-and-so such and such. Well, if you have I heard so-and-so said such and such about so-and-so, and you're the person you're saying that to is a drifter, well, they're going to act on that information without confirming it. They're going to act on what you were told instead of what they know to be true. And so that's one of the things I always have to say. Challenge reality. Challenge your thoughts. Challenge your beliefs. Do I know this for a fact to be true? And if so, how do I know that to be true? Or am I just believing what you tell me and taking that for face value? Well, I can't do that. Because in order for me to do that, then that lends me back to drifting. Drifting led me to being 400 pounds and miserable. So if my goal is to be happy and protect my happiness, I'm sold out to my happiness. That means I have to stay in control. Boom, right here. I have to stay in control of my mindset. Why is this important? Because it controls your outcome, you guys. Everybody's out there looking for success. They're out there looking for fulfillment. They're out there looking for happiness. But they're not thinking about how they think. They're thinking about what's going on in the world. They're thinking about what's going on around them. They're thinking about what other people think. And that, my friends and neighbors, ain't nothing but the work of the devil. You understand? So you can be as faith-based as you want, and you can go to church as much as you want. But if you're not in control of your mindset, you're always subject to external forces and external power, which then is ultimately connected to evil. God can't protect you from your own thoughts because he gave you free will. Well, your job then is to nurture the free will that you were blessed with and use it wisely. Use it to build his kingdom. Use it for good, not evil. But if you're not in control of your thoughts, you're not in control of your mindset, that then leads to your actions doing other things that are counterproductive to your purpose and what you were sent here for. All of this, you guys, Genius Power Reset. That's what this is about. This is about resetting as we march into the fourth quarter. Resetting your thought process. Disrupting those toxic thinking. Helping you find and discover clarity. Dr. Will's going to give you tools that's going to help you start your own clarity journey. Getting clear is the quickest way to being back in control of your mindset. Because you have to have something more powerful to think about, more powerful to focus on than what other people tell you about yourself, about your journey, about what your potential is, the whole 9 yards. So, Genius Power Reset, I shared that with you guys yesterday. It's going to be huge. I'm partnered up with the best of the business, Dr. Will Moreland. He's America's #1 leadership life trainer. Spoken at over 2,100 corporations, a number of doctorates, like ambassador of civility, like just all of these accolades. He's spoken in over, I think, 45, 50 countries, 48 countries. Like, he gets it. And if anybody can help you get clear, this was my opportunity to share with you guys a game changer for my life. And I always say when I get better, my clients get better. So for me to be able to have an opportunity to share my sensei, my coach, with other people is a blessing. It's a gift because I understand that he has a way of helping you start off on this clarity journey that he can do. I can teach the principles because I learned them from him, but there's no better teacher than the creator of the process, right? And so learning these systems, learning these strategies that are going to allow you to reclaim control of your mindset and take back ownership of your life, your relationships, and your business. That's what Genius Power Reset is all about. It's about combining your genius to take back your power and resetting and refocusing on your goals. Fourth quarter, guys, time is wasting. You don't have a whole year left in 2018 anymore. You got to reset, regroup, get focused, get clear, and then be ready to refire into 2019 like nobody's business. But that's all starts up here. Like if you don't believe that it's possible, then you're not going to be able to do it. And so this is about shifting your mindset and disrupting those toxic thoughts and self-sabotaging behaviors. And it's about giving you the clarity that's going to let you see that that really wasn't all what you thought it was. It doesn't have the impact on you. You start to see through some of the BS, and you're able to then embark on your journey and take it to a whole other level. That's why I hear people all say, I want to go to the next level. I want to go to the next level. But you still thinking about the last level. You're not cured from that. You're still drifting. If you're still drifting, that means the devil still has an opportunity to guide you where he wants you to go and to do the things he wants you to do, instead of treasuring the gift that you were given and blessed with, which is the gift of free will. Exercise that. Exercise your independent thinking. Take back your power. That's what this is all about, guys. That's what this is all about. And so I wanted to share that with you. I know I went a little bit longer today, but it really is something that was such a game changer for my life. It changed my physical appearance. It changed my belief in myself. It changed the trajectory of my life when I learned to reclaim control over my mindset and I had to disrupt my own toxic thinking. And then I had to self-correct my self-sabotaging behaviors. And that's what I can do for you. You don't have to do it alone. I had to do it by myself because there was nobody there to teach me. So I came so far. And then once I got to a place where I knew I needed help, that's when I reached out to, and I hired my own coach, and I started working with Doc. And so to be able to share his wisdom with you guys through my own teachings and my own coaching programs, but now to have the opportunity to actually truly partner with him. It's 2 calls, 2 hours a piece with 2 master coaches, you guys. That's it. Two calls for 2 hours on 2 Saturday mornings. You get 2 coaches for the price of none, basically, because it's so inexpensive. But we wanted to erase the excuses. If you really are truly serious about changing your life, you're going to have to start with changing how you think. And it's going to start with being able and being prepared to make a personal investment in yourself. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, don't waste my time. Certainly don't waste Doc's time. Time is the most precious thing. I can't get that back. I can get money back. I can get space back. I can get an apartment back. I can get a car back. I can get all this other stuff back. I can't get my time back. So please don't waste it. And that's how you have to start thinking about your life, is in terms of time. Everything in life is an exchange of time. And what am I sacrificing my time for? And what am I getting in return for that time? See, that right there, boom, mindset. It's how you think about it. It's how you think about it. So it's not about the money. It's about the time. What happens if I don't make this investment in myself? What happens if I don't make the investment to disrupt my toxic thoughts and my self-sabotaging behaviors? What happens then? So that's it for me today, guys. Have an amazing, amazing day. Again, Wednesday. I'm on board with that now, finally. And happy hump day. Thanks as always for living life on Mars with me and being part of the Ultimate Power team. I truly, truly appreciate you guys. And if you have questions about Genius Power Reset, hit me up. Hit me in the inbox. There's also a link included where you just sign up. It's only limited. There's, I think, 10 spots left. So sign up. All right. Talk to you guys later.